Components of risk management. Communication management. Communication management involves coming up with a well thought out plan to handle communications between the project team and project stakeholders. A project manager with a good communication plan should be able to establish how to relay and communicate different types of communications with the stakeholders, ensuring he understands how they would like to receive information about the project. Some variables to consider when communicating with the project team include mode of communication, frequency of communication, what needs to be communicated, who is responsible for the different types of communication, how often the information needs to be communicated. The best methods to run an effective meeting involve ensuring that everyone understands the purpose of the meeting and the right people are at the meeting, and people understand what the meeting is about and what to expect. In order for a meeting to be effective, we also need a facilitator, which in this case is the project manager. The project manager, as a facilitator, should be able to help people reach a common goal and help in guiding the project to fruition. Effective methods to run the meeting include an understanding of the following: people, the purpose of the meeting, and the props that may be needed to make sure the meeting is a success. This could be presentations or face-to-face meetings. It's also important to make sure that there's communication, that the meeting is communicated beforehand and everybody is aware of what to expect during the meeting. This includes the agenda and action items. So the meeting should also be facilitated, meaning that as the meeting is going on, everyone should stay on topic and any items not on the agenda should not be discussed, but can be discussed later. One of the things that project managers do is put some of the issues that come up in meetings that are not on the agenda in a sort of a parking lot. Finally, we wrap up the meeting. And once the meeting is wrapped up, it should be wrapped up with action items on what is to be done. And also, at this point, you just want to get when the next meeting is going to be or the next steps in the meeting. Communication blockers. Communication blockers hamper effective communication in teams, and some communication blockers may include the following: making false assumptions about the project, not providing complete information, not taking into account cultural differences, not using the designated communication channels, and also selective listening. A communication such as selective listening could lead to a less than optimal project due to the fact that a team member wants to hear what they want to hear. So, for example, the team lead could be talking about their performance on a project and how well their performance was on a project, but they could also mention something to do with schedule variances. But then, since the team member only hears what they want to hear, they might miss the part on schedule variances. So that's one thing to consider. So the best method to communicate with the project team would be face-to-face meetings, since this helps the project manager get to meet each and every team member, and he is also able to gauge their strengths and weaknesses. The project manager should then be able to accommodate for the team members' differences by understanding and also recognizing these differences as he assigns various tasks for the projects. The best way to discuss issues in a project team is by having all staff meetings where everybody comes together and has a brainstorming session. It is also important to establish a communications channel that outlines the flow of information and escalation of key issues. The project manager is also responsible for motivating his team and maintaining discipline. So low team morale may be detected actually by customers before it's detected internally. And this is because of how people talk about the companies that they work for. So one of the things that the project managers can do to improve and motivate the project team is listen to team members, review and implement sound performance goals, provide honest feedback and motivation where applicable, have a performance-based reward system, and finally have team strengthening workshops that improve the team spirit.